A. Q1. What did they introduce to distribute powers between center and states? A1. It introduced 3 lists for distribution of powers. Q2. What type of federation was proposed in The? A2. A federation of federal, provincial, and princely states. Q3. Why could the federation proposed by the not be formed? A3. Because princely states did not join the federation. Q4. What is the difference between distribution list and diarchy? A4. Distribution list divides powers between center states, while diarchy divides powers at the same level of government. Q5. What is the meaning of responsible government? A5. Government acts on the advice of ministers who are responsible to the legislature. Q6. Which 6 provinces out of 11 adopted provincial autonomy under The? A6. Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Bihar, Assam, and UP. Q7. What institution was created at the federal level under The? A7. The was established. Q8. What is the meaning of diarchy? A8. Distribution of powers at the same level of government. Q9. What is meant by transferred subjects in diarchy? A9. Subjects administered by governor with the help of the legislature, ministers responsible to legislature. Q10. What is meant by reserved subjects in diarchy? A10. Subjects administered by governor with the executive council and not responsible to the legislature. Q11. Who headed the interim government of 1946? A11. Headed the interim government. Q12. Who served as vice president of the interim government? A12. Served as the executive council. I converted your paragraph into clear one-line questions and answers with sequence numbers. Q1. What was the aim of the interim government of 1946? A1. Peaceful transfer of power from British rule to Indian leadership. Q2. Who was the head of the Union Constitution Committee? A2. Q3. Who headed the Provincial Constitution Committee? A3. Q4. Under which schedule is the anti-defection law placed? A4. 10th schedule. Q5. Which amendment introduced the anti-defection law? A5. Q6. When does the anti-defection law not apply? A6. 2/3 road members merge with another party. Q7. Which schedule allocates Rajya Sabha seats among states? A7. 4th schedule. Q8. Which article deals with the composition of the Rajya Sabha? A8. Article 80. Q9. Which schedule contains the list of states and union territories? A9. First schedule. Q10. What does Article 1 describe? A10. India is a union of states. Q11. What power does Article 2 give Parliament? A11. Power to admit or establish new states. Q12. What is the function of Article 4? A12. Allows changes in state boundaries without constitutional amendment procedure. Q13. Which schedule lists the official languages of India? A13. 8th schedule. Q14. What is the purpose of the 9th schedule? A14. Protect certain laws from judicial review. Q15. Which amendment added the 9th schedule? A15. Q16. Which amendment created union territories like Puducherry? A16. Q17. What does the 11th schedule deal with? A17. Panchayats. Q18. What does the 12th schedule deal with? A18. Municipalities. Q19. Where are fundamental duties located? A19. Article 51A, Part 4A. Q20. Which amendment added fundamental duties? A20. Q21. From which constitution were fundamental duties inspired? A21. USSR. Q22. Which amendment added the duty of parents to educate children? A22. Q23. Which case recognized the right to remain silent during the national anthem? A23. Q24. In which part of the constitution is parliament described? A24. Part 5. Q25. What is the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha? A25. 250 members. Q26. What is the maximum strength of the Lok Sabha? A26. 545 members. Q27. What are the 3 components of parliament? A27. President plus Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha. Q28. What is the voting age in India? A28. 18 years. Q29. What is the minimum age to contest panchayat elections? A29. 21 years. Q30. What is the minimum age for Lok Sabha membership? A30. 25 years. Q31. What is the minimum age for Rajya Sabha membership? A31. 30 years. Q32. What is the minimum age for the governor of a state? A32. 35 years. Q33. What is interpellation in parliament? A33. Asking questions to the executive for accountability. Q34. When does the budget session of parliament occur? A34. February to May. Q35. When does the monsoon session occur? A35. July to September. Q36. When does the winter session occur? A36. November to December. Q37. What is the difference between adjournment and recess? A37. Adjournment ends a sitting. Recess is the gap between sessions. Q38. What is a private bill? A38. A bill introduced by a member who is not a minister. Q39. What is the notice period for a private bill? A39. 1 month. Q40. When does the president address parliament? A40. At the first session each year. Q41. What is the money bill? A41. A bill dealing with taxation, borrowing, and the consolidated fund of India. Q42. How long can the Rajya Sabha keep a money bill? A42. 14 days. Q43. Which is the largest parliamentary committee? A43. Estimates committee, 30 members. Q44. What is the term of members in parliamentary committees? A44. 1 year. Q45. Who controls the contingency fund of India? A45. The President of India. Q46. Who prepares the union budget? A46. Prime Minister and the Ministry of Finance. If you want, I can also, which is much easier to memorize for polity exams. I organized your paragraph into clear one-line questions and answers with sequence numbers for easier revision. Taxation, budget and finance. Q1. What does Article 265 state? A1. No tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. Q2. What does Article 266 deal with? A2. Consolidated fund of India, contingency fund and public account. Q3. What is an appropriation bill? A3. A bill that authorizes government expenditure from the consolidated fund of India. Q4. What is the annual financial statement? AFS. A4. The statement of government income and expenditure presented as the union budget. Q5. What figures are included in the annual financial statement? A5. Budget estimate. B. Revised estimate. Re. And actual expenditure. Q6. Who presents the budget speech in parliament? A6. The finance minister in the Lok Sabha. Q7. What are the types of union budget? A7. Full budget, interim budget, and vote on account. Q8. What is vote on account? A8. Temporary approval for government expenditure until the full budget is passed. Q9. What is the order of budget approval in parliament? A9. Annual financial statement. Right pointing arrow. Demand for grants. Right pointing arrow. Appropriation bill. Right pointing arrow. Finance bill. Constitutional amendments. Q10. Which amendment protected citizens from misuse of president's rule under Article 356? A10. Q11. Which amendment removed Anglo-Indian reservation in legislatures? A11. Q12. Which amendment limited the size of the Council of Ministers to 15% of the legislature? A12. Q13. Which amendment gave special status to Delhi as the national capital territory? A13. Executive and ordinance powers. Q14. What does Article 74 provide? A14. The President shall act on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Q15. Which article allows the President to issue ordinances? A15. Article 123. Q16. Which article allows a governor to issue ordinances? A16. Article 213. Q17. Which system is not based on responsible government? A17. Presidential system. Center-state relations. Q18. Which article allows Parliament to legislate on state subjects in national interest? A18, Article 249 with Rajya Sabha approval. Q19, which article allows Parliament to legislate during President's rule? A19, Article 356. Q20, what does Article 356 impose in a state? A20, President's rule when constitutional machinery fails. Election and constitutional bodies. Q21, which article establishes the Election Commission of India? A21, Article 324. Q22, what is the composition of the Election Commission? A22, Chief Election Commissioner plus Commissioners. Q23, what is the tenure of election commissioners? A23, 6 years or until 65 years of age. Q24, which body conducts panchayat and municipal elections? A24, State Election Commission. Finance Commission and CAG. Q25, which article provides for the Finance Commission? A25, Article 280. Q26, what is the composition of the Finance Commission? A26, 1 chairman plus 4 members. Q27, which article establishes the Controller and Auditor General CAG? A27, Article 148. Q28, what reports does the CAG submit? A28, Appropriation Accounts, Finance Accounts, and Public Sector Audit Reports. Legal Officers. Q29, which article provides for the Attorney General of India? A29, Article 76. Q30, who is the highest legal officer of a state? A30, Advocate General. Parliament and State Legislature. Q31, what is the strength of a state legislative assembly? A31, minimum 60 and maximum 500 members. Q32, what is the minimum age to become a governor? A32, 35 years. Q33, what is the composition rule of a legislative council? A33, maximum 1/3 of the legislative assembly strength. Judiciary. Q34, which article gives the Supreme Court original jurisdiction? A34, Article 131. Q35, which article allows the Supreme Court to pass complete justice orders? A35, Article 142. Q36, what qualification is required to become a High Court judge? A36, 10 years as an advocate or judicial officer. Q37, what qualification is required for a Supreme Court judge? A37, 5 years as High Court judge or 10 years as advocate. Local self-government. Q38, which amendment introduced Panchayati Raj in the Constitution? A38, Q39, which amendment introduced municipal governance? A39, Q40, which part of the Constitution deals with panchayats? A40, Part 9. Q41, which part of the Constitution deals with municipalities? A41, Part 9A. Q42, what reservation is provided for women in panchayats? A42, 1/3 of seats. Q43, within how many months must panchayat elections be held after dissolution? A43, 6 months. Q44, what are the 3 levels of urban local government? A44, Nagar Panchayat, Municipal Council, and Municipal Corporation. Q45, what was the first municipal corporation in India? A45, Municipal Corporation, 1688. If you want, I can also, very useful for UPSC, SSC, State PCS quick revision. Here is your content converted into numbered one-line questions and answers, arranged clearly and in sequence. 1. Parliamentary and financial basics. 1. Q. What is the source of salary of government officials? A. Consolidated Fund of India. 2. Q. What is meant by yielding the floor? A. Stopping one member's speech to allow another to speak. 3. Q. What is interpellation? A. Asking questions to the executive for accountability. 2. Parliamentary sessions. 4. Q. When is the budget session held? A. February to March. 5. Q. When is the monsoon session held? A. July to September. 3. Recess vs adjournment. 6. Q. What is recess? A. A break between sessions. 7. Q. What is adjournment? A. Suspension of a sitting of the House. 8. Q. What is adjournment signed by? A. Adjournment without a fixed date or time. 9. Q. What is adjournment for a specific time? A. Suspension of sitting for a fixed period. 4. Bills and legislation. 10. Q. What happens to a bill pending in Lok Sabha after dissolution? A. It lapses. 11. Q. What is a private bill? A. A bill introduced by a non-minister. 12. Q. What is the notice period for a private bill? A. 1 month. 5. President's address. 13. Q. When does the president address parliament? A. At the first session each year. 14. Q. Which bills are not discussed in a joint sitting? A. Money bills and constitutional amendment bills. 6. Composition of Parliament. 15. Q. Under which article is Rajya Sabha composition defined? A. Article 80. 16. Q. Under which article is Lok Sabha composition defined? A. Article 81. 7. Rajya Sabha specific. 17. Q. Who is not subordinate in Rajya Sabha? A. Deputy Chairman. 18. Q. What is an exclusive power of Rajya Sabha? A. Declaring a state subject as a matter of national importance. 19. Q. Under which article can Rajya Sabha transfer a state subject to union list? A. Article 249. 8. Questions in Parliament. 20. Q. What are types of questions in Parliament? A. Start, end start, and short notice questions. 21. Q. What is the notice period for short notice questions? A. Less than 10 days. 22. Q. When is question hour held? A. First hour of the sitting. 23. Q. What is 0 hour? A. Time immediately after question hour with no prior notice. 9. Motions. 24. Q. What is an adjournment motion? A. Motion to discuss urgent public matter by suspending normal business. 25. Q. What is a no confidence motion? A. Motion to test the support of the government in Lok Sabha. 26. Q. What is the minimum support required for a no confidence motion? A. 50 members. 27. Q. Where can a no confidence motion be introduced? A. Lok Sabha only. 10. Money and financial bills. 28. Q. What is not a money bill? A. Finance bill category 2 and other general bills. 29. Q. What is the time limit for Rajya Sabha to return a money bill? A. 14 days. 30. Q. Who certifies a money bill? A. Speaker of Lok Sabha. 11. Financial committees. 31. Q. What are the types of financial committees? A. Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, Committee on Public Undertakings. 32. Q. How many members are in Public Accounts Committee? A. 22 members. 33. Q. Who chairs the Public Accounts Committee? A. Leader from the opposition. 34. Q. Which is the largest committee? A. Estimates Committee. 35. Q. How many members are in Estimates Committee? A. 30 members. 36. Q. What is the tenure of committee members? A. 1 year. 12. Budget and funds. 37. Q. Who controls the Contingency Fund of India? A. President of India. 38. Q. Who prepares the Union Budget? A. Department of Economic Affairs and Finance Minister. If you want, I can also refine this into exam-ready crisp notes, UPSC, SSC style, or convert into MCQs. Here is your paragraph converted into clear, numbered one-line questions and answers, arranged topic-wise and clean for accuracy. 1. Government of India Act and Federal Structure. 1. Q. What is meant by Government Division 1935 Act? A. Distribution of powers between center and provinces using three lists. 2. Q. What are the three lists under government division? A. Union list, state list, and concurrent list. 3. Q. What is meant by proper federal division? A. Clear separation of powers between central and provincial governments. 4. Q. What was the status of federation under the 1935 Act? A. Federation was proposed but not successfully formed. 5. Q. What is the difference between federal distribution and Dyaki-Erk? A. Federal distribution divides powers equally, while Dyaki assigns unequal powers. 2. Responsible government and provinces. 6. Q. What is meant by responsible government? A. Executive works on the advice of the legislature. 7. Q. Which provinces adopted responsible government? A. Provinces like Madras, Bombay, Bengal, Bihar, UP, Punjab, Assam, etc. 3. Institutions created 1935 Act. 8. Q. Which institutions were created under government division? A. Federal Court, RBI, and Public Service Commission. 4. Dyaki-Erk concept. 9. Q. What is Erk-Dyaki? A. Division of subjects between central and provincial governments. 10. Q. What is the meaning of Erk at provincial level? A. Power shared between governor and legislature. 5. Union government leadership. 11. Q. Who was the head of the Union government after independence? A. Jawaharlal Nehru. 6. Anti-defection law. 12. Q. Which schedule deals with anti-defection? A. 10th schedule. 13. Q. When does anti-defection law not apply? A. In case of merger with 2/3 majority. 7. Schedules of Constitution. 14. Q. What is the role of the 4th schedule? A. Allocation of Rajya Sabha seats. 15. Q. Which schedule lists states and UTs? A. 1st schedule. 16. Q. Which schedule deals with languages? A. 8th schedule. 17. Q. Which schedule protects laws from judicial review? A. 9th schedule. 8. Articles related to states. 18. Q. What does Article 1 define? A. India is a union of states. 19. Q. What does Article 2 deal with? A. Admission or establishment of new states. 20. Q. What does Article 3 deal with? A. Formation and alteration of states by Parliament. 9. Fundamental duties. 21. Q. Where are fundamental duties located? A. Article 51A, Part E. 22. Q. Which amendment added fundamental duties? A. 42nd Amendment. 23. Q. Which country inspired fundamental duties? A. Japan, indirectly via USSR concept. 24. Q. What did the 86th Amendment add? A. Duty of parents to provide education to children. 10. Parliament and representation. 25. Q. What is Parliament composed of? A. President plus Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha. 26. Q. Maximum strength of Lok Sabha. A. 550 members, earlier provision. 27. Q. What is the voting age in India? A. 18 years. 11. Eligibility ages. 28. Q. Minimum age for Lok Sabha. A. 25 years. 29. Q. Minimum age for Rajya Sabha. A. 30 years. 30. Q. Minimum age for governor. A. 35 years. 12. Terms and emergency. 31. Q. What is the term of Lok Sabha? A. 5 years, extendable during emergency by 1 year at a time. 32. Q. What is the extension period during emergency? A. 1 year at a time. 33. Q. What is the term of Rajya Sabha? A. Permanent body, 1/3 members retire every 2 years. 13. Elections and dissolution. 34. Q. What is the source of representation in Lok Sabha? A. Direct election by the people. 35. Q. What is dissolution of Lok Sabha? A. Termination of the House before completion of tenure. 14. Miscellaneous parliamentary points. 36. Q. What is the notice period for certain motions? A. 14 days, e.g., no confidence motion. 37. Q. What is the source of salary of MPs? A. Consolidated Fund of India. 38. Q. What is meant by yielding the floor? A. Allowing another member to speak by stopping one's speech. If you want, I can next convert this into MCQs asterisk or make ultra short revision notes, 1 page asterisk for exam use. Here is your paragraph converted into clear, structured 1-line questions and answers, organized topic wise and corrected where needed. 1. Financial articles and budget. 1. Q. What does Article 255 deal with? A. Validity of laws despite procedural irregularities. 2. Q. What does Article 266 relate to? Correcting context. A. Consolidated fund, contingency fund, and public account. 3. Q. What are budget estimates? A. Estimated expenditure for the upcoming financial year. 4. Q. What are revised estimates? A. Updated estimates during the current financial year. 5. Q. What are actuals in a budget? A. Actual expenditure of the previous year. 6. Q. What are types of budgets? A. Full budget, interim budget, and vote on account. 7. Q. What is vote on account? A. Provision for meeting immediate government expenditure. 2. Finance Commission and grants. 8. Q. What is the role of Finance Commission? A. Distribution of financial resources between center and states. 9. Q. What are demands for grants? A. Requests for funds presented to Lok Sabha. 3. Constitutional amendments. 10. Q. Which type of amendments require special majority? A. Constitutional under Article 368. 11. Q. What did the 44th Amendment do? A. Modified emergency provisions. 12. Q. What did the 88th Amendment introduce? A. Service tax provisions. 13. Q. What did the 104th Amendment deal with? A. Extension of reservation for SC/STs in legislatures. 14. Q. What did the 91st Amendment limit? A. Size of Council of Ministers to 15% of legislature. 15. Q. What did the 69th Amendment provide? A. Special status to Delhi NCT. 4. Executive, Center and State. 16. Q. Which articles deal with Union Council of Ministers? A. Articles 74 and 75. 17. Q. Which articles deal with State Council of Ministers? A. Articles 163 and 164. 5. Legislative powers. 18. Q. What are types of legislative lists? A. Union list, state list, concurrent list. 19. Q. When can Parliament legislate on state subjects? A. During national emergency, President's rule, or with Rajya Sabha resolution. 20. Q. Under which article is national emergency declared? A. Article 352. 21. Q. Under which article is President's rule imposed? A. Article 356. 6. Emergency provisions. 22. Q. On what grounds can national emergency be declared? A. War, external aggression, or armed rebellion. 23. Q. When is President's rule applied? A. Failure of constitutional machinery in a state. 7. Election Commission. 24. Q. Which article establishes the Election Commission? A. Article 324. 25. Q. What is the tenure of election commissioners? A. 6 years or up to 65 years of age. 26. Q. How can election commissioners be removed? A. By special majority, similar to Supreme Court judges for CEC. 8. Finance Commission 27. Q. Which article provides for Finance Commission? A. Article 280. 28. Q. How many members are in Finance Commission? A. 1 chairman and 4 members. 9. National Human Rights Commission NHRC 29. Q. When was NHRC established? A. 1993. 30. Q. What is the composition of NHRC? A. 1 chairperson and members including former judges. 31. Q. What is the tenure of NHRC members? A. 5 years or until 70 years of age. 10. Attorney General and Advocate General. 32. Q. Which article provides for Attorney General of India? A. Article 76. 33. Q. Which article provides for Advocate General of State? A. Article 165. 11. Judiciary, High Court and Supreme Court. 34. Q. What is eligibility for High Court Judge? A. 10 years as Advocate or Judicial Officer. 35. Q. What is eligibility for Supreme Court Judge? A. 5 years as High Court Judge or 10 years as Advocate. 36. Q. What is the retirement age of High Court Judge? A. 62 years. 37. Q. What is the retirement age of Supreme Court Judge? A. 65 years. 12. Subordinate courts. 38. Q. What is eligibility for subordinate judge? A. 7 years as an advocate. 39. Q. What are types of criminal courts? A. Sessions Court and Magistrate Court. 13. Tribes and 6th Schedule. 40. Q. Which states are covered under 6th Schedule? A. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. 14. Miscellaneous constitutional points. 41. Q. Which part deals with states? A. Part 6. 42. Q. What is Article 131 related to? A. Original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. 43. Q. What is Article 145 related to? A. Rules of Supreme Court. 15. Legal services and Lok Adalat. 44. Q. What is the role of NALSA? A. Provide free legal aid and conduct Lok Adalats. 45. Q. What is Lok Adalat? A. Alternative dispute resolution mechanism. 46. Q. Can Lok Adalat decisions be appealed? A. No. Decisions are final if mutually agreed. If you want, I can next convert this into ultra-fast revision tables asterisk or prepare expected exam MCQs from this content. Here is your content converted into clear one-line questions and answers, properly structured and corrected. Local self-government, panchayats and municipalities. 1. Q. Which article directs the state to organize village panchayats? A. Article 40. 2. Q. Within how many months should panchayat elections be conducted after dissolution? A. Within 6 months. 3. Q. Which schedule deals with administration of tribal areas? A. 5th schedule. 4. Q. How are representatives chosen in some tribal areas? A. By indirect election. Panchayati Raj System. 5. Q. Which part of the constitution deals with panchayats? A. Part 9. 6. Q. Which schedule list subjects for panchayats? A. 11th. 7. Q. What are the 3 levels of Panchayati Raj? A. Village, intermediate block and district level. Urban local government. 8. Q. Which part of the constitution deals with municipalities? A. Part IXA. 9. Q. Which schedule list subjects for municipalities? A. 12th. 10. Q. What are the types of urban local bodies? A. Nagar Panchayat, municipal council and municipal corporation. Levels of urban local government. 11. Q. What is a Nagar Panchayat? A. Local body for transitional rural to urban areas. 12. Q. What is a municipal council? A. Local body for smaller urban areas. 13. Q. What is a municipal corporation? A. Local body for large urban areas. If you want, I can also combine panchayat plus municipality into one revision chart, very useful for exams, asterisk or make MCQs from this. A. Q1. What did they introduce to distribute powers between center and states? A1. It introduced 3 lists for distribution of powers. Q2. What type of federation was proposed in The? A2.